I have grown to despise EA. Like, I hate EA. I was interacting with the Nintendo company today. That's a separate thing we'll get to in a minute. And I dislike Nintendo sometimes, but I hate EA. Hi, this is Cass from Aussie Cass Plays, and welcome back to the channel and to another yapping video where I talk about my feelings about The Sims 4, because I've kind of had it. The latest news about the latest update with the microtransactions. So if you haven't heard, they've updated The Sims 4 to add a new marketplace. And in that marketplace, you can buy with real money in exchange for an in-game currency that you purchase with real money. You can buy custom content. So they've basically taken the idea of the creator kits that they already had and then turned it into a marketplace where it'll have all of the traditional marketplace predatory practices, like you have to buy the coins in a bundle that isn't the cost of the thing you want. You can't buy things directly and all of that. And I hate that kind of thing. And the thing is, I've played games with marketplaces like that before. Like, I played Palia for a little bit. And Palia is not exactly a paragon of ethical marketplace transactions and all that kind of stuff. But they, at least at the time, maybe it's changed, they didn't have an insane amount of DLC on top of the marketplace. The marketplace was how they pay for themselves. This is not that. The Sims currently is over $1,600 US, which is over $2,300 Australian if you want to buy it and all the DLC. And that's a lot to, on top of that, add a marketplace. And part of me, I could be sympathetic towards console players having access to CC. Like, there obviously is a benefit there for console players. I get that. But I can't justify in my own head those kind of purchases when 30% of the return of a purchase goes to the CC creator and 70% goes to EA. And if, like me, you have issues with giving EA money, this is obviously a problem. Like, they obviously need a certain amount of money to come in to support the marketplace because they're paying for the servers that are hosting the CC and they're paying for the infrastructure that lets you buy it. But that's not 70%. That is not 70% of the purchase cost. That is wild. It's a huge markup. I gather some big CC creators have actually signed on, and I don't understand why you would. I feel like you'd probably make more money from Patreon, but maybe not. Maybe they're relying on the console market. I don't know. All of that is a lot. I had started boycotting purchasing Sims 4 packs before the buyout was announced. So again, I'm sure you all know, but The Sims is, or EA and The Sims, is being purchased by Saudi Arabia's PIF, Public Investment Fund, and Affinity Partners, which is owned in part by Jaron Kushner and in part, I believe, by the Public Investment Fund, and then a third party, which I don't know who they are. I forget the name of the third one. I think they're just an investment firm. So they, as far as I'm aware, don't have the same kind of deeply conservative links as the other two buyers. But it's a leveraged loan. So EA, the company, owns the interest for the loan, and this marketplace is clearly intended to help pay for that. They're basically milking Sims 4 players to help pay for a buyout that most Sims 4 players don't want, because most Sims 4 players, even the ones who are still buying Sims 4 packs, are probably a little bit meh about the idea of a regime that is very not exactly pro-women and pro-LGBTQ. The average Sims 4 player is both of those things, at least pro, if not actually woman and LGBTQ, at least pro both. Yeah, it's too much. Basically, I've had it. I've spent the last couple of days stewing about this, watching videos that made me even crankier. So I watched the most recent Not Malcolm video on it. He said, I'll link it in the comments, in the description of the video. He said pretty much what I was already thinking. I also rewatched Fake Gamer Girl's video talking about why she sort of hates The Sims 4 and the way it's marketed. That also sums up how I feel. And I just can't anymore. I did make some notes for this video. I haven't written a script, which is probably a mistake, let's be real, but I did make some notes. I feel like they're taking advantage of what is almost a complete market monopoly for The Sims to set up this marketplace, because like there are obviously other life sims if you define it very broadly, like Animal Crossing is a life sim in some senses, and all of the farming sims you could call life sims, like your Stardews and stuff. But in terms of day-to-day life simulation set in the modern world, it's basically The Sims and Inzoi currently. I think 2Pixelia maybe also counts. 2Pixelia is quite new and indie developed. I actually haven't looked recently to see how it's doing. I hope for their sake it's doing well. And Inzoi obviously is not doing great at the moment. We've got Paralives coming, but at the moment The Sims is kind of it. It's the big dog in town, obviously. And when you combine that with the fact that they're like, one thing not Malcolm said in his most recent video that really resonated with me is The Sims is kind of like Disney, you know, where the people who've been playing The Sims have probably been playing it for ages. They're very nostalgic about it. They probably feel quite sentimental about it. I know that's how I feel. I feel like Maxis and EA are taking advantage of that, and it's outrageous. You could probably hear I'm like spluttering with rage. I was sitting on the couch last night and I was actually feeling sad about this. So I took a day to give myself some time to calm down, and I made all these notes on my phone, which I'm sort of trying to stick to, but I'm not doing a very good job. So there's a quote I wanted to read you guys, which is actually, it's Sven Vinker, who's the majority owner of Larian, who made Baldur's Gate 3. He's like an icon as far as I'm concerned. And at the 2025 Game of the Year Awards, he gave a speech. He was talking about Clair Obscur, but this really, for me, this is what a game development company should be about. So he's talking about Clair Obscur, but he's talking in a hypothetical kind of way about an oracle talking to him about what the next game of the year would be. So that's the kind of context. But what he said is, they didn't treat their players as users to exploit, and they didn't make decisions they knew were short-sighted in function of a bonus or politics. They knew that if you put the game and the team first, the revenue would follow. They were driven by idealism and wanted players to have fun, and they understood the value of respect, that if they treated their developers and players well, those same developers and players would forgive them when things didn't go as planned. But above all, they cared about their game because they love games. It's really that simple. Straight up, EA and Maxis don't respect the player base. They just don't. There might be some developers on the team who do, and I'm sure with this new marketplace, the fact that the content on there is not being made by Maxis employees, it's being made by CC creators, who Maxis doesn't have to worry about paying, you know, the like award rate, wage and all that kind of stuff. It's going to put designers on Maxis out of business. So like there will be people losing jobs because of this marketplace, 100%, especially because if kits are now going on the marketplace, which is another thing, all the kits are going to be sold via this marketplace. So you have to use this moolah in-game currency to buy them. And I bet you, without having looked, I bet you cannot buy an amount of moolah that equals just the cost of a kit. I bet. I would put actual money on that. I bet you have to buy more. So yeah, I keep making that noise. It's fine. It's fine. So the management doesn't care. They don't care. So that's my rant about that. And what does that mean? I know I said I'd finish Berry and Medieval. The idea of booting up The Sims 4 makes me feel sick. I kind of just want to uninstall it from my game. That being said, I am very close to finishing Medieval, because we literally need 2 more grandkids. I mean, I could do that in one video. But obviously we've got 2 weddings. We want to have Lily and Ava both get married. And that means Ava needs to move out. There's a few things that need to happen, but I could do it in one big video if I make it like a bonanza. I also want to finish the war arc, which means dealing with Vlad. So there's a little bit of sort of loose ends to tidy up on the series, but it's basically done. So I'm going to finish it. Berry, though, we're like on Gen 7. I don't think I can, guys. I'm sorry. I don't think I can. That's like 3 more generations at the speed I'm recording these videos, because I work a full-time job and I only have a certain amount of time on a weekend to get this done. It's probably going to take me another year to finish, and I think I will have gone completely mad by then. The buyout will have happened. Like, I just don't want to support that anymore. I don't want to support this company. I have grown to despise EA. Like, I hate EA. I was interacting with the Nintendo company today. That's a separate thing we'll get to in a minute. And I dislike Nintendo sometimes, but I hate EA. So that's kind of where I'm at. I feel bad about that. I'm sorry for those of you who have been following Berry. I just don't think I can do it. I'm going to back up my saves and my current custom content set. If I do uninstall, I'm going to create like a copy of everything before I uninstall in case it like erases the mod folder and the saves so that I still have them. Maybe, you know, a miracle will happen and I will come back to The Sims because I like The Sims. I like it. Aside from the nostalgia, I like that I can tell creative stories in The Sims and use it as like a canvas. That's one of the things I love about The Sims. And there's not many games you get that in. Like even games that I love like Baldur's Gate, the story is the story and you can choose how you move through the story. The story exists as a framework. That's not the case in The Sims. I love the sandboxiness of it. If they sold Maxis, if EA was like, we're cutting Maxis, they're not going to, but if they cut Maxis loose and it was bought by Dream Scenario, Larian, never going to happen again. That's not their kind of game. But hypothetically, I'd be tempted back. So I'm not saying never, I'm just saying it's highly unlikely. Now, what does that mean for the channel then? Because that's like 2 or 3 more videos and I'm done. I've obviously been trying new content. It's been hard because the algorithm doesn't know what to make of my videos. Like it used to know I did The Sims 4. It served my videos to people. Videos occasionally went viral. That doesn't happen now. I'm not getting views. I don't even think most of my subscribers are seeing my videos. Well, I mean, that's always been true, but I think it's worse. It doesn't know how to serve them. And it's been making me a little bit sad. Like this channel isn't a career for me, thankfully. It's like I can take risks with it because I'm not going to lose my house over it or anything. But it is still depressing. Do you know what I mean? To see people unsubscribing. And I get why people unsubscribe because either they are still a Sims 4 girly, and you might be watching this thinking, but I love The Sims 4. I want to only see Sims 4 gameplay. And if that's the case, I'm sorry. Thank you for being here. I'd love it if you'd stick around, but I understand if you don't want to. And I understand people who've unsubscribed because I'm not doing as much Sims content. Maybe they're like, date everything. What? And I get that. Or they're like, Animal Crossing, that game's like 6 years old. What are you doing? Again, we'll get to that. I realized when I was looking at the correlation between when people were unsubscribing and the videos that were coming out, half of them were unsubscribing when I posted Sims 4 videos. So this is like a no-win situation because there are people who've unsubscribed because they're like, I don't want to watch Sims 4 anymore because they're boycotting, which is fine. I respect that. I'm doing it too. But they don't want to see Sims 4 stuff popping up. Maybe they're quitting, but they're sad about it and they don't want to be reminded or they don't want to be angry or whatever. Do you know what I mean? I get it because we only have so much attention in life to give to things and I'm not owed a subscription by somebody. I'm not owed a watch by somebody and I understand it. It is still sad to see the number go down though because my channel's been growing crazy slow. I started this channel in 2019 and obviously you guys can see my subscriber count. It is tiny, but it's validating to see the number go up a little bit and it stopped going up a little bit. We're kind of just breaking even at the moment and it is a bit sad. So yeah. Anyway, what I wanted to do for this video is I wanted to talk to you guys about what you want to see because I obviously, like I said, I'm not relying on this for money. It doesn't matter to me. It matters in that I want to enjoy what I'm doing, but I also like engaging with you guys. I like seeing your comments. I know I'm slow at replying, but I like seeing them and I like replying to them and feeling like it's like a journey we're on together. I love that. So I want to get your input into what I do. Now, there are a few different games. Obviously, I'm going to finish Strange Antiquities because that's a finite game. I'm like more than halfway through it now. I'm going to keep going with Date Everything just because it cracks me up and I love it. So I'm going to keep playing that. I wanted to get your thoughts on other games though. Baldur's Gate 3, I kind of get the impression that interest isn't there. I think it's a little bit too, as much as, again, I adore that game and my tastes are super eclectic. I can see that it's a bit off-brand for the channel because I have done cozy life sim games. It's a little bit too far afield, I think. And I was talking to someone it like IRL talking to someone, and they pointed out that because the game's a couple of years old, or 3 years old now, 2.5, the people who love Baldur's Gate 3 have already played it, and the kind of playthrough I was doing am doing on the channel is the kind of playthrough that they will have already done. And so the story beats and all of that will be familiar to them, so they're not going to want to watch it. Those kind of people that like Baldur's Gate 3 stands watching YouTube videos are watching like challenge runs, or, you know, I woohooed every character type, you know, well, not woohoo, but you know what I mean. That's the kind of content they watch, and that's not the kind of content I've been serving. So I get it. Let me know if you disagree. If you're like, yes, continue Baldur's Gate 3. Obviously I will. I love that game. So other games I want to play for myself are Clair Obscur, Cyberpunk 2077, and Dragon Age Inquisition, but I think they're a bit like Baldur's Gate 3 in that they're not cozy games. Maybe a bit too gritty for the channel. So again, let me know what you think of those. Animal Crossing has been my cozy game. I'm interested to know if you guys want to see more of that. One thing I am definitely going to record probably this weekend is, I know I said I hadn't got a Switch 2 yet, but I just went and bought a Switch 2 because I want to try Pokopia, which is a new Pokemon game. You've probably heard of it. It's the new Pokemon game. It's been described as Animal Crossing plus Stardew Valley plus Minecraft, as in the world's a little bit blocky looking, in Pokemon. And I was like, I mean, it's only available on Switch 2, so I had to there was a lot of money to even have that be a possibility. I'm currently downloading it, so I want to give that a try because it's new. And if it has the same kind of cozy world building villager kind of thing that Animal Crossing has, it could be my new fixation in terms of the game I play to relax. And because it's new, hopefully it'll be more interesting to you guys than Animal Crossing New Horizons, which is 6 years old. So that was my thought. Other thoughts, and this list is long, I know. To Pixelia, I've actually bought. It's in my Steam library. I haven't played it yet, but that is like pixel art, 2D, Stardew Valley-esque kind of graphics, but a modern life sim. You're in a city. I think I've seen screenshots where you're like on a farm as well, so I guess you can do that, but it's like a life sim. You can go through life and do things. I thought that might be fun to try. Coral Island I also own. Modded Stardew Valley I would also think about. I know there's a Baldur's Gate 3 mod that puts the Baldur's Gate 3 characters into Stardew, which I would definitely try. So those are my current sort of set of options. Obviously, I'm going to play Paralives when it comes out, 100%, whenever that is. I think it's currently scheduled for release in May. I want to give that a try. I'm just desperately hoping that it has consequences because I'm a little bit of a chaos gremlin. My favourite games and challenges and stuff in The Sims have been the ones where my character's a villain of one kind or another, or I've set restrictions on what they're allowed to do. So I loved Celebrity Gold Digger, which was the Gold Digger challenge, but I had to be a celebrity as well. I loved a Criminal Empire challenge because I was playing like a mafia boss. I loved doing the sort of, what did I call it? The island, stranded on a desert island. I've completely blanked on the name of the challenge. How embarrassing. So I loved those because they had challenge to them. I don't just want to play Happy Families. That's boring to me. But I'm going to try Paralives regardless. I think that was actually, I was thinking about it because I was thinking about going and trying Inzoi again. They've had a few updates and touching base with it, and I will at some point, but I don't want to play Happy Families. So unless they've got ways for me to be a criminal, have challenges, things to work towards, like I don't want to set up a character that lives in a nice house and gets married and has babies. I'm not interested. So I need characters doing their own thing and, cheating on me. I need like fires and mayhem, and I need challenge. So we'll see. I'm hoping Paralives has that. If you are in the Paralives Patreon and drop a comment, let me know, because I haven't been in the Patreon Kickstarter. How are they doing that? I think it's Patreon, right? Yeah, I haven't been in that community, so I'm sure there's tons of stuff about the game I don't know. And I would love to hear if they've got that baked in, that level of challenge and difficulty, or an ability to make it more difficult. I'd love to hear. But let me know what you think. So that's kind of where my head's at. I'm going to finish Medieval. Going to try and actually do it fairly quickly because I want to be done with EA. I'm sorry about Berry. I'm sad about that because Blossom is currently pregnant to Grim with the heir. And spoiler, but not spoiler, I guess, I had a quick look during recording the last part to see if she was pregnant. She's actually pregnant with twins. She got pregnant with them naturally. I didn't do that. Like, she's a twin. So I know that can be genetic, but it's not meant to be in The Sims. So she's pregnant with twins. I can't remember if it was a boy and a girl or what, but yeah. Anyway, I am sad about it, but I just can't. The marketplace was the final straw for me. I can't. Are you guys feeling the same way? I'd love to hear what you think. Let me know that I'm not alone. Sorry, this has been a bit of a ramble. I'm going to wrap it up here. Obviously, I haven't addressed what you've been watching if you're watching this and not just listening to it. I've been just doing this to a chill little Animal Crossing speed build because why not? But let me know what you think in the comments down below if you've enjoyed, ? Or, if you resonate with what I'm saying or want to sign up to see what we go next. Please like and subscribe. You know the drill. Don't forget to wash your hands. I will catch you next time. Thanks for watching.